Hello, my name is Maya Dangel, and I am presenting WTW's work under the Axion project. WTW is a leading global advisory, broking, and risk solutions company. And in our ecosystem resilience practice, alongside my colleagues Sarah, Simon, Jamie, Constance, and Heather, we help design, deploy, and scale pre-arranged, trigger-based financial instruments for ecosystem conservation and restoration to ultimately enhance the resilience of these natural assets and the livelihoods that rely on their services. Under the Axion project, WTW evaluated the feasibility of insurance concepts for ecosystems and beneficiaries in the Yucatan Peninsula, including coral reefs, small-scale fishers and aquaculture and mariculture producers, and mangroves. Coral reefs and mangrove ecosystems provide many goods and services to communities and small-scale fishers and producers alike, yet they face complex threats like hurricanes and overfishing, amongst many others. Designing risk financing products that enable resources for the conservation and restoration of these ecosystems will enhance their resilience and ensure that they can continue to provide their benefits while also protecting those livelihoods in a changing climate. For coral reefs, we assessed whether the Mesoamerican Reef or MAR Fund's existing insurance program would be feasible to extend to Campeche and Yucatan, and what kind of parametric applications would be well suited for the hazards faced here. To do this, we conducted a hurricane wind risk assessment, where the result was low risk in Campeche and Yucatan. We also assessed whether existing reef restoration activities in the MAR region would apply in Campeche and Yucatan, and the results were that those actions would have limited impact given coral composition. Building on another consultancy's survey results with the local population, it was also evident that the main perceived threats to Campeche and Yucatan reefs are not necessarily related to hurricane impacts, which indicates limited demand for hurricane coral reef insurance. This ultimately led us to the conclusion that it would not be feasible at this point in time to expand the MAR insurance program to Campeche and Yucatan. However, there are other potential parametric applications that would be suitable for the hazards that are experienced in these states. For small-scale fishers and aquaculture and mariculture producers on the coasts of the Yucatan Peninsula, we evaluated the feasibility of developing an insurance product to protect the lost income that fisher folk would experience when there are long periods of bad weather which would otherwise prevent them from going out to safely fish. We first assessed the existing risk financing instruments that are available to small-scale fishers and producers, which address vulnerability from climate-related hazards, to which we found limited available options. We also identified what climate hazards are most impactful for small-scale fishers and producers, with a focus on those that belong to cooperatives in Isla Aguada in Campeche, Celestun in Yucatan, and Punta Allen in Quintana Roo. The results were that the relevant hazards faced by fisherfolk that directly impact their ability to fish are high winds, significant waves, and/or rainfall, which together contribute to low visibility and unsafe conditions for fishing. Through our data modeling and analytics, we developed a risk financing concept related to bad weather periods, where if a fisher experiences a threshold of bad weather comprised of wind, waves, and rain conditions within a 5-day period that would otherwise prevent them from going out to safely fish, they could receive a payout. For mangroves, WTW designed a mangrove damage model to better understand the relationship between the characteristics of hurricane events and their damage to a mangrove ecosystem, and ultimately quantify mangrove damage caused by hurricane winds. We then proposed a parametric concept for a mangrove risk financing product that could be implemented in the Yucatan Peninsula to protect investments in mangrove ecosystems. In the top left, you can see the areas that were selected to conduct a hurricane wind risk assessment across Campeche and Yucatan, which proved to be lower than what Quintana Roo would experience in the Yucatan Peninsula. On the bottom left-hand side, this is an example for Isla Aguada in Campeche, depicting when a payout would have been triggered should a product have been placed that responds to bad weather periods, and the latest payout would have taken place in February 2022. On the right side, this table shows the total number of mangrove damaging events across 4 of our areas of interest, which show good correlation that wind is the primary determinant of damage to mangroves captured in the model. So the main findings of this study and conclusion are that at this time, it is not feasible to develop a coral reef insurance program in Campeche and Yucatan due to low hurricane risk, the limited impact that existing rapid response actions would have on corals in Yucatan and Campeche, and the limited demand for such a product from the local population. Given the technical feasibility of the bad weather periods product, the recommended next step is to pilot it with a subset of fishers in the Yucatan Peninsula, ideally with 2 years of premium financing provided by a third party such as the GCF. And during the 2-year pilot, a long-term premium financing strategy should be developed to enable the expansion and sustainability of the program in future years. We also recommend further refinement and implementation of an insurance product to protect mangroves and mangrove-linked livelihoods in the Yucatan Peninsula against hurricane winds. Thank you to FMCN and Sudeste Sostenible for your dedication to unlocking finance for nature conservation in Mexico, bringing together the private sector and communities for enhancing resilience and protecting our ecosystems. Please feel free to email my contact information on the slide if you would like to learn more about WTW's ecosystem resilience work, and thank you for tuning in.